Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I'm going to come and show you different techniques of how to do different ways of watercoloring all week over on my blog. Now I have a finished card here, right here, and this was done with watercoloring. And I'm going to show you, I use the pastels, markers, or chalk paint pastels, and I'm going to show you how I created just this. I'm not going to create the card from start to finish. I'm just going to show you how I did the watercoloring part. All the information on how I did this card and everything, the measurements and the other product that I used will be over on my blog at createwithbon@blogspot.com. Oh, createwithbonnie@blogspot.com. Sorry. Thought I was giving you my email address there. So anyways, I'm using StazOn ink. The best thing for watercoloring is StazOn ink. It doesn't run. And you don't want to use Memento ink, because if you use Memento ink, it will not, it'll run. The water will run because that's a water-based ink. Okay, this is a 100 grade water colored paper that Stampin' Up! Sells. It's watercolor paper. They sell it in a 6x9 pack, which I've got to get some more because that's all I got. And I like to just, because sometimes it sticks, because StazOn does that. When it sticks like that, I'll flip it over and do this just to make sure I got all my little spots. And then I peel it off. Oh, and see, this ink dries quick. So we're going to try this again. I might have to re-ink my pad. I didn't want to re-ink it too soon, because then, you know, you get too much in there. If this happens, you can huff on it. Like that. And let's try this again. And we'll apply it all the way down. I'm very sorry if you hear noise in the background. It's summertime. I have teenagers at home with their friends over. Okay, let's give this a really good push, I guess, here in the middle. Oh. Well, see, you get to see everything. Ah, here it comes. Yeah, there we go. That's what it should look like. And like with StazOn, you want to wipe this off, because it will, right away, because it will dye your photopolymers or your stamps, any of them actually. Get it off the best you can. There is a StazOn remover cleaner that Stampin' Up! Sells, so if you'd like that, you can order that too. So now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get out our two colors. This is going to be surprising. This is what color is that? And I just had it on Night of Navy. And so when it does, it's supposed to look like Night of Navy. And that is, let me see, Granny Apple Green. I was shocked when I read the back of this and it said that that piece was Night of Navy, because I was just like, really? Night of Navy? So anyways, I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper over here. Actually, a thick Whisper white piece would be the best if I can find a piece here, which, well, here I have this scrap piece of paper that I was playing around with. So we're going to take, I know you can't see it here, I'm going to put it over here. I just want to show you, and then I'm going to move it off the camera, but I'm just taking a little dab of this like that, and then I'm going to take a little dab of this, and I'm scribbling it on the back of the card. So now you also need, let me see if I could get this out of my way and keep everything in the camera here. You also need the aqua painter pens, and there's 3 different kinds. There's the small, the medium, and this brush kind. And we are going to use the small and the medium. So these are going to be the 2 that we're going to use. I'm going to start out with the larger one first. What you want to do is you want to get it going. So what I mean by getting it going is you're going to squeeze it until you feel water coming out of it. Now, I didn't tell you how you have to fill it. I should have told you that. You take this off and you fill it right there with tap water or whatever water you choose, or whatever you choose to put in here. And then you just squeeze it. There's the little buttons here, the thing tells you where to push, and you squeeze it. I'm going to put it over top of my water, and water will come down to the tip of it. Okay? And then once you got it wet, I like to dab a little bit off so it's not soaking and dripping everywhere. I have a paper towel over here, so if you can't see me when I'm over here dipping, I'm dipping it on a piece of paper towel. So now I'm going to get this wet and pick up some of this color. And I'm squeezing out a little bit of water as I'm doing it because I want it a little bit dark. And then I'm going to dip a little bit off. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to color. And if I want any of these to look lighter, then I'm just going to add more water so it looks lighter. See, I added more water to that. So now my next one over here, they're looking really pale. If I want it to look darker, then I'm just going to add more, and I'm just going to show a darker piece. I can just emphasize where I want some dark. And I'm not, as you could tell, I'm not doing anything fancy coloring here. I'm just coloring them in. I'll go back through and I'll add a few little darker ones here and there as it dries in certain spots, because you don't want it to be too wet when you're adding your darker spots. It'll dry, it dries up and it soaks into the paper quite nicely. See, I'm not following any fancy lines. I'm just kind of taking my time. It's nothing, this isn't a fast watercoloring technique. I do have another one that's very simple and easy that I'll be showing you later on in the weeks. But this is a fun, it's not hard. It's just another way. Now I'm going to grab some of this darker stuff. I'm going to try to add a darker one maybe over here. And this, when I'm adding a darker one, I am trying to be a little more precise on where I put them. Might put a couple next to each other. And it doesn't matter how dark, how light you have them. I think they're pretty when you have all different colors in here. So yeah, so I think this looks good. I think I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to do, it'll soak up into the paper. And I think that looks very good, just like that. So now, I don't know why, I have this on my mat. You don't need it on your mat. But as you can tell, it didn't go through. I meant to have it on the paper, but maybe it shows up better for you guys on this. Now we're going to clean our brush. I'm putting it in the water a little bit over here. And then I'm squeezing the brush. And you keep rubbing the brush back and forth on this paper towel. See how it's coming clean right here? Once it comes clean like that, like here it was still dirty. Once it comes clean, then you can dip it into the next one. It may stain it. It happens, but that's okay. Then you're going to squeeze a little water out on this one. And we're going to do the leaves. And I'm just going to get some up here. And I'm just going to color the leaves in. And I'm doing them the same way as I did the other ones. You don't have to go all the way to the end. That is the fun watercolored look that you get. And if you want it darker, then you just put it on. Then you just get more of the darker color. And you just keep lightly going. I like watercoloring if you're looking for a softer, more pastel-y look. And now for the stem, I'm going to put this down because I might use it again in a minute. For the stem, I'm going to get out the smaller one. So I'm going to dip it in my water. And then I'm going to come over here and give it a little squeeze. Get some water out. And then I'm going to dab a little off so it's not dripping. And then I'm going to go down the stem. And you might not be able to see it on camera, I don't know, but it is leaving a green line down through this, like that. Now I'm going to add a little bit more chalk over here, because I got all that really kind of good and wet. And I'm going to dip this in, because I want to emphasize some of these lines. So I'm just going to go down like this. And see how it just changed. I'll put it up closer to the camera, but I have a light pastel or a light color in the background, and then I just use this hardly any water, just enough to get it wet, and then I just keep going back and dipping it, and I'm adding this texture to this card. I'll bring it up and you see the lovely texture that I added. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it really did. And then all this, and then I just added it on a base card, very simple, put a little tag there. The other thing I did, this is another technique that you can do, and I show it in another video. I think I showed it in a live. Here, I'll link it below if you want to see it done a little bit more. But I take and I squeeze my pool party, and I get a little puddle here, and then I'm going to use both of these brushes at one time. I'm cleaning my brushes off over here. Well, at different times, not at one time. I'm making a little puddle of water in my palette. And you can remove this if you want, or you can leave it in there. It's a water base, and this is water base ink, so it's not going to hurt it. You want this really pale, like light color. And then I'm just going to make this wash behind it, and it's going to be ever so lightly. You could use the wash brush, but I don't know how well it would get. Oh, I got something right there. I don't know what that was. I don't know how well it would get down in the crevices. Let's try it. I mean, it can't hurt. It might make it go a little. You could use this wash brush. This is what I used when I did the other one, was the wash brush. And if you actually get a little bit of these spots damp a little bit, you see how the water just kind of runs where it wants to go. You might not be able to see it too well. I did my other one with, what do you call it? With the pens. So it's just up to you. There's no right or wrong on this. And that's one thing I love about the watercolors, is there's no... you can't make a mistake. And that is how you put a wash on it. Now see, on this one, I went around with my thicker brush, and I went around like this. And this one, I used the wash brush, and I went around like that. So there's no right or wrong. This one's very, very pale. As it dries, it will get a little darker like this one. But, yeah, and then I just decorated the card up. All the details on that card will be over on my blog, and you can go to my blog to see all this information at createwithbonnie@blogspot.com. So make sure you go over there and check it out. And if you, all the other links to anything, my videos, pages, all that is in the description box below. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Bye-bye.